am alive.
We alive, baby, we don't die, we multiply. Cause we alive, baby, they can't stop us, still they try.
Alive like the fine line that exists between fans and fanatics, dealers and addicts, addictions and habits, denial and hope, caution and fear.
Like many of you, I've thought a lot about diversity in the advertising industry, and I've come to realize that part of the problem is the word itself. For many of you in this room and the corporate world in general, the word diversity has unfortunately become a loaded term. That's because the way that businesses frequently view diversity is often, if not always, a mathematical equation to be solved with numbers alone. Yes, increasing the number of ethnically and racially diverse employees in agencies, particularly African Americans in the senior ranks, is a critical business imperative for us all. The solution, however, isn't simply tapping into the same pool of like-minded, like-experienced, like-educated talent who happen to be ethnically and racially different from the generally white establishment. I believe that in order for us to get past considering only the mathematical equation of diversity, we need to add to the definition of the word to include talent and inclusion. Diversity of gender, race, and ethnicity, the ad industry needs to put these at the top of the list. But we must also embrace diversity of experience, point of view, and knowledge. And I'd like to go one step further. True, genuine diversity recognizes the business value of respecting, celebrating, and rewarding all of the differences that unique individuals bring to their work. Because of and regardless of age, race, gender, sexual orientation, physical ability, or life experience. When and only when we have truly embraced these ideals can we ensure that our industry is one that leads in diversity and not merely follows. To that end, tomorrow I will announce a major 4A's initiative that will specifically address the dearth of African American executives in our ranks and how the 4A's will back our talk with funds to support this initiative. I believe that by casting a wider, more inclusive net for talent, we'll tackle two of the greatest challenges our industry faces today: attracting talent and building awareness among the next generation about the rewards and opportunities in advertising. The students that we should attract to the business are those who, on one end of the spectrum, are considering positions in the McKinseys of the world, and on the other hand, with all deference to our sponsors, those who are taking jobs at Microsoft, Yahoo, and Google. Now, just 20 years ago, images of advertising careers played a greater role in the American zeitgeist, and tech and consulting career options weren't as readily available as they are today. I've actually heard several agency leaders, some of you in this room, say they would discourage young people from going into this business, and that makes me very sad. I admit the business has changed dramatically in the past 20 years, and yes, the skill sets that are required are different than they were in the past. But that's what I think is so exciting about the business today. For those of you running agencies, it's your job to make advertising the career path of choice for the brightest and most talented people out there. We are the standard bearers, the main cheerleaders for our great business. And not simply because advertising is fun or about ideas, which of course it is, but because advertising and marketing communications is at the core of all business, because it makes a fundamental impact on the quality of our lives and on our economy. And because smart, creative, ambitious people are those who will thrive in this industry. So then, the inevitable question becomes, how do we train, educate, and help to retain our talent to fulfill their potential? I've consistently heard that many of your agencies, particularly the small and mid-sized agencies, have had to forego training programs because of lack of time, resources, or both. This is a gap that the 4A's can and should continue to fill for you. While I believe that technological innovations in media and the workplace are great, what's even more important are the people, the talent, who can see through the zeros and the ones and find innovative ways to solve business problems. In the coming year, look for 4A's training programs such as MAPE and the Institutes of Advanced Advertising Studies to move beyond the conference, seminar, and classroom settings into webinars, webcasts, communities, and other online tools. To that end, we have hired a new director specifically dedicated to 4A's education and inclusion programs. In addition, the scope of the 4A's training programs will be more global, because that's how young people think today. That's how they were brought up. Now, I realize that we are the American Association of Advertising Agencies, but you've also told me that the 4As can be and should be much more. Our perspective must be broader and more global in scope. What American agencies do today has tremendous influence and impact on agencies in Beijing, Sydney, Moscow, and increasingly the reverse is also true. I expect the 4As and myself to take an active role in the global conversation about advertising and hope you will continue to do the same. Our counterparts from around the world need and want to interact with us, and there are many tools today that can make that exchange of ideas happen more easily.